We're out here in eastern Turkey at one of my research sites. We're between Kars and Lake Kujuk, our Ramsar site. We're interested in doing a roadkill survey. If you're interested in participating, you can use our new app, our Splatter Spotter app, which is free, and you can just fire that sucker up. You can hit About Us to learn about the project and learn about how to collect data. Or you can just go directly to collect data. Now note, I'm not driving, my able assistant is driving, so I'm not doing anything unsafe. Most important thing, it's daylight hours. I don't want you guys collecting data at night. It's much harder to see and it's much more easy to get distracted and that kind of stuff, so we only do roadkill surveys in the daytime. Once you activate the app, you have three options. You can hit current location, which essentially is going to GPS mark wherever you are at the moment that you push the screen. From the map is an option that you can take after you get home and you know where you recall at a particular intersection you saw a dead animal. You can use a map interface to drop a pin, which is going to mark that location. Or you can use the transect option, and I hope that you mostly use the transect option. That's the most useful to us. That will provide the most helpful data. So I'm going to show you that. Hit transect, and you just hit the start tracking and go about whatever you're doing. And keep your eyes on the road and all your safe stuff, and pass tractors safely like that and everything. So we just go. If we don't see anything, when we get to our destination or when we're tired of this, we just hit the stop button right here in the upper right corner. Otherwise, we just go till we see a kill, and we just hit record a kill. That's going to take us into a toggle menu. Now, because we're driving and we're not necessarily going to stop every time, or it might not be safe to stop, or the individual might just be smushed, heavily smushed. Unknown is a very common category for us. So we break it down though into unknown small, unknown medium, and unknown large. You can also, all the organisms are categorized that way. Every organism falls into either the small category, the medium category, or the large category based on size, with small being squirrel size-ish, medium being raccoon size-ish, and then things like coyotes, wolves, deer, those fall into the large size thing. So you can select, oops, excuse me, let me go back there. You can select medium, large, whatever, and it's going to automatically toggle. I've gone through and I've scored all of our species into one of those size classes. So that's going to shorten the list for you. You can either scroll if you want to find your species you're looking for, or you can just click right here on the window and you can begin tagging. Say it's a wolf, W-O-L-F, oh, nothing, because I'm in the small. Wolf is large. If I hit large, then the wolves show up. And now I can just type that in. If it's at a safe place, only if it's at an extremely safe place and you have the desire to do so, you may take a photo. And you can take it directly from our app, or you can have taken one previously and upload it from your iPhone library, or it's perfectly acceptable to use no photo and just hit no photo and go on. Now this whole toggle, that photo menu and this stuff here, is the same no matter what you do. If you drop a pin, if you are doing a transect, etc. You can choose to leave all this blank. It's defaulted to be nothing, to have no value. If you don't understand what these mean, if you're not sure, don't worry about it. But if you do have a little bit more time and can give us some more information, that is very helpful to us. Segment refers to how many, you know, we're driving the whole road, are you driving just a few miles, something like that. Max speed would be the fastest speed limit on the segment of the road where the individual was killed. Lanes represents how many lanes in total. In this case, our road has 2 lanes, so I'd put 2. The next question is lane visibility. What that means is, on this path, could you see the entirety of the road? In this case, I can see the entirety of the road. There's a tractor on that side coming towards us, and now he's passing us. And so yes, I can see the visibility is all. If there was some type of divider, a line of trees, something of that nature in the middle, and I could only see my half of the lanes, in my case that would be 1 lane, then I hit the half button, and that tells us that we're really only sensing half the road. Oh look, there's some impatient Turkish drivers. Then the surroundings represent what is immediately to the side. So we have undefined, which is a default, which means I don't know, or you don't have time to care. Urban would be a city. Suburban is same idea, but less dense construction, so more like suburbia. Cropland would actually be this stuff off to our sides here. In this case, this is all dry farmed wheat. So we can say cropland. Orchards are also agricultural lands, but these are treed agricultural lands. Rangeland. This actually could be considered rangeland as well, because in this particular case, when the wheat is done growing, they'll graze cattle and other animals in these fields. Wildland refers to any area. It could be a forested area, it could be coastal sage scrub, it could be whatever you want to pick that is a natural landscape where people are not readily apparent. Wildland, oh, sorry, I just did that. Riparian is an area near a river, in or near a river. Beach is obviously the beach. And mixed refers to the segment of the road had more than one of these categories in it. Edge refers to what's right exactly here on the side of the road. So we have a couple options. We have a cliff, if there's a cliff that's dropping off there, or a cliff that's going right up to the side. Wall, if it is a human-created up and down structure. Fence is obviously a fence. Trees or shrubs. Ditch. This would not be considered a ditch, but a ditch would be actually a really rapid depression in elevation, then rapid back up. So an actual ditch. Open would be no barriers whatsoever, no ditch, no cliff, no nothing. And then elevated, this would be considered an elevated roadway, this one we're on here. So we are about 3 meters or 10 to 12 feet above the surrounding land, and that matters. That also counts if you're on a bridge, something of that nature. And then wildlife signs is just simply the presence or absence of wildlife signs. Weather is what the weather is now. If you smack this, you'll see the options are clear, overcast, foggy, high winds, rain, snow. These are all broad conditions that affect the amount of kill we get. So right now we are looking at, obviously, clear skies. Temperature, if you know roughly what the temperature is, you can smack that. And if you've seen the kill before. And then we have a comment window where you're welcome to enter whatever you want in there, any additional data that can help us understand what's going on. And you just hit, keep going essentially. And now if we don't see anything else and we get home, we can just hit stop. Or if we see another roadkill, we can hit that. Now, let's say we're done, and once you've stopped the transect, you have an option to send all. And that's going to send all the data. And in this case, it's going to send it all. Now, out here in Turkey, I have my phone and all that kind of good stuff, but I do not have a Turkish cellular plan because all my assistants have Turkish cell phones. So in this case, if I hit send, I'm not near a Wi-Fi signal, I'm not on a cell phone network, it'll send it to my mail app, and then it'll just be queued up until, oh look, we almost have some roadkill cow to show you, but apparently our wonderful driver is too smart to hit a road, hit a cow walking across the road. So anyway, you say send, and that's all good. Once your phone comes next into a Wi-Fi signal or gets back on the cellular network, it'll advance that email on towards us, and that's great. So it's much appreciated. I hope you check out our Splatter Spotter app. It's in the iTunes store now. It's free, and please check it out and give me your feedback if you think it's useful or how we can make it even better. Thanks for helping us understand how fragmented landscapes are and how that fragmentation affects animals across the planet.